Greetings, everyone. Happy New Year. Happy Black History Month. And thank you for joining us on Turning a Moment into a Movement. I am your host, Jay Love, and I represent the Justice for Gerard Movement. Gerard is my son who was wrongfully convicted for a crime he didn't do. Innocent, but was convicted of a crime. Didn't know the people, never seen them before. No, but he ended up going to prison. He was sentenced 2 to 17 years for unarmed robbery. And because of that experience with Gerard, and because of all the people that I met and everything that happened during that journey, I created this platform called Turning a Moment into a Movement to come here on Fridays to talk about wrongful convictions, to talk about injustice, and to help educate our community so we can do better and take our power back. So I want to thank you guys. I know it's been a minute. We've been on break. Sometimes you have to take self-care breaks, and that's what we did over the holiday. We took a break, and which is important, on this journey with on this movement for justice. You do have to take breaks. You have to take care of yourself in order to take care of others. And if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not eating healthy, if you're not doing everything you can do for yourself, then you're not going to last in this in this journey for justice. It's a lot. Every day is always something. And so you have to be prepared, and that means take care of yourself. So thank you for joining us. Our mission here at Turning a Moment into a Movement is to bring awareness to the wrongful conviction of Gerard and all others who are wrongly convicted, over sentenced, mentally ill, and medically frail in our community, to inspire, organize, and educate all communities about the needs to disrupt systems, policies, and patterns of the criminal legal system that leads to wrongful convictions. And that's why we come here every Friday. And that's why we do this work, in order to make change happen, because change is necessary. So thank you again for joining us. Now, I know everybody is not all here yet, but we're going to get going anyway. I see Trischè is here, and I want to bring her in. Hi, Trischè. Trischè, there
Oops.
you go.
Hey, Jay.
Hi, Trischè. How are you?
Well, I guess we're going to talk about all that.
Yes, we are, Trischè.
You know what? I'm blessed. I'm grateful. Those are the number one things, because if we don't keep that, we lose ourselves in the midst of this demonic system
Mm-hmm.
we're battling. Can never lose ourselves. We have to stay centered. We have to stay rooted and grounded in love. But when you love somebody, you've got to stand in truth. And this is why I'm grateful for this platform, Jay, that you have created, because we get to come here and tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how raw, no matter how ugly it is. And when you can be honest and divulge and share truth, it is a deposit in the atmosphere that can only return to you what is due. And that's
Yeah.
justice. I'm in a season of, how do we manifest justice?
Mm.
How do we manifest justice? We must place ourselves in the lineup for it by taking a stand.
Mm-hmm.
We can't have justice unless we stand. So
Yeah.
I'm grateful to be here with you, sis. And I've been standing alongside you, and you standing alongside me for, I don't even know how many years now. I'm so grateful for it. I'm grateful for the love that you share with this entire community, in spite of everything that you go through and have gone through. Um, I can't imagine how you totally feel in your heart, but I honor you and I salute you for always thinking about how we can create change no matter what's going on. And then you take care of yourself too, because that's why we've been on break. We've all been trying to rest and take care of ourselves and refresh ourselves, because without self care,
Mm. Right.
it's a wrap.
Right. It is. Thank you, Trischè. I don't know why Revertia in the comments. I just don't know.
Yay!
She
Oh,
better come on in here. But I see Alexandria. Hi, Alexandria.
hey!
Oh, hey, how y'all doing?
Called out the general tonight.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yes. Andrea, how are you? First of all, I was at Michigan Correlation for Human Rights with Revertia. I am a newly a board member, and then I see that Alexander was getting an award. I'm like, oh my God. And you got, I saw a text today too. You're on being nominated for something.
our Detroit is has me being nominated for for Community Activism Award.
Yay.
Yeah, it's a lot, a lot going on.
I know, but you know what? You've been out here working, doing the work. Every time I look up, your name is somewhere. You doing something. You either on TV or you in a newspaper or you something is going on. So I appreciate you because you've been really out here. I remember when we first met at our first rally,
Yeah,
and and it's been you just been going, going, going. So yes. You and Trischè, y'all always. Y'all out here.
Yeah.
Thank you. So introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are and what you do and how they can connect with you.
Yes. So Alexandria Hughes, community activist. I like to say human rights and mental health activist, deeply rooted in abolitionist organizing because we need to birth a new system that is healthy. Having a healthy system won't come from the current one we have. Um, Best way to contact me is on my
Hold on,
socials.
Alexander. Hold on. Because first of all, you just said a mouthful. Abolition, yes, and we're not going to get changed in this current system. I need everybody to get that because so many people are talking about reform and think that is not it. And this session, well, not this particular one, but in this season that we're on, we're gonna really talk about abolition, and I want you to help us with that, Alexander, because I want people to understand what it is. And so, yes, now go ahead and tell people.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
no, yeah. Best way to find me is on my link tree. It's just linktree / Alexandria J Hughes. Or on my Instagram. I'm on there more than Facebook. But Alexandria J _ Hughes. Or Twitter, Ali Psych One. um, but I'm pretty responsive. I'm deeply invested in community work, doing stuff with Michigan Liberation, doing things with Accountability for Dearborn. Sometimes you'll see me work with mental health organizations. As long as they push in the messages that I'm fighting for, I'm there. That's where I'm at, and
Mhm.
I'm happy to be here with y'all. I'm with the day ones. I'm happy.
Yay.
Yeah, I think
Thank
about that
you.
Livonia. I
Yeah.
always, you know, it's funny because everybody acts like, and I'm grateful that you are getting awards, right? But I have watched you labor in the vineyard. These
Yeah.
awards are long overdue
Oh
for the
my
Yeah.
God.
work that
Yeah,
I
I
have
cried for the human
seen you
rights one because
put
I didn't
in.
expect. When I tell you it was a long year last year, it was a lot of, how people come at you and you just trying to do right. It was some of that, and I was feeling real down, y'all. So I tell you, that was beautiful to see.
Don't worry
Yeah.
about that. That's what happens when the more that we become in the enlightenment and awakening of who we really are, and we're dealing with people who don't know who they really are, upholding a false system, they're
Yeah.
going to do that because, I mean, and you know this best. You know what I'm saying? In your position, it's just the way that people think. Their mind is their behaviors. They caught up in doing that stuff over and over again. But it's a new day.
Yeah.
It's a new day, so we just got to take our lickings and keep on ticking. Because one thing about it, we might have a day where we cry and be sad, but we're not finna stop. So don't mistake the tears for stagnancy. Because I'm gonna
Hmm.
cry, but I'm gonna get up.
I know. In 2024, we ain't doing that stuff no more. It's over. We're going hard in the paint this year. I see Revertia. Turn your mic on, Revertia.
Oh my
Hey.
goodness. Oh, how's everybody doing? Look, I'm still in my car. I had some other duties. I love y'all so much, Trischè, Alexandria, Jay. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It was a year. I can't, you know. Um, I started looking back at the 2023, and it was a very eye-opening, I don't want to say experience, but when it comes to civil rights, human rights, our rights, right
Hmm.
when you think, okay, enough is enough, and then it seemed like it was another layer. And I'm so glad you titled today's message like you did, because we have work to do. And I think now is the time for action. It is
Hmm.
time for action. It is definitely, put on the table what it is we're really working towards, and looking at, you know, staying focused and focused enough to change, to make transformation, you know.
Yeah.
I think of us like, that water that keeps dripping. And after a while, it's going to be some damage. After a while, there's going to be an opening. There's going to be a split. The ground is going to come apart, because what we're doing is breaking up this fallow ground of racism, discrimination, inequity. And it's going to take us continuing to do the work. So I'm excited, coming to you from the Choice Zone. Oh my goodness. That in and of itself, I am a psychologist according to my license by day. And I work with all kinds of people who experience mental health. And a lot of times, most recently, I have been noticing and been on the front end of the inequities when it comes to mental illness and access for people of color and people who are in a vulnerable population. And along with that, that's what the Choice Zone has been kind of focused on lately. And I've been doing a lot of compliance work. So look, if you're interested in doing something on the side when it comes to um, helping people who have mental health issues or autism or needing a place to stay, I do help people start those businesses. And you can feel free to contact me at Tia Taylor at thechoicezone.com. And I'm excited to be here. So, Jay, I may pop my picture off, but I'm here. That's only because I'm driving.
Okay.
Okay.
Dr. Tia. Dr. Tia, are you almost Dr. Tia?
I'm almost Dr. Tia, but not yet. Not yet. I'm just the license. Look, I'm going to tell the truth, y'all. You know, right before you get your doctorate, you can become the state licensed psychologist, which that's what I am right now. And you still got to pay that money. Okay. They still looking for that money. You still got to pay for that license until you get the PhD. And then even after the PhD, you got to pay for that license until you got 2,000 hours in with the PhD. Then I mean, I can still be called the doctor, but then after those 2,000 hours, then I feel like, okay, they can't take nothing away from me then.
Right. You are Dr. Tia.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. All right. Well, you
Yeah.
drive safe. And
Okay, I
we're
will. I'm
gonna go.
still on though. I may
Okay.
I may be pulling off to the side, chiming in.
Okay. I see Dwayne made it. Hey,
Yay!
Dwayne.
Man, God, dog.
Hi. Your camera went out.
It did?
Yes, Dwayne.
Oh my goodness. Let me see. What I gotta do here? Hit that.
Don't worry, Dwayne. There you are.
All right.
Uh-oh. There you go. Dwayne, hey.
Woo. This is a lot of work.
Welcome here. It's been a minute, but welcome back.
Yes, I made it. I've been trying to get on for like 45 minutes.
Oh, I know.
I
I'm
had
glad
to create
you made it.
I had to create a whole new account.
Oh, wow. Oh, to get on, yeah. So, Dwayne, introduce yourself and tell everyone who you are and what you're doing and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
Dwayne Brooks. I did 35 years in prison for a crime that I didn't do. I was exonerated in September, and now I'm in civil court, you know, fighting to get a semblance of justice, you know, but there really is no justice for somebody that was wrongfully incarcerated, because they can't give you none of the time back. So now I'm out here, and I'm doing my best to spread the word that, you know, these type of things are happening more common than people think.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, if it could happen to me, a person that wasn't even in the state when the crime occurred, it can happen to anybody. Because as I've said on here before, you know, if they convict somebody that didn't do something, and in my case, wasn't even in the state at the time. You know, they're convicting people with no evidence.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, people need to wake up to this. You know, they think they see a black person sitting there in the defendant's seat, that, yeah, he must have done something, but that's not the case. You know, that's not always the case. And it wasn't the case with me. So I'm here, Jay.
I'm glad you're here, Dwayne. Thank you. We're going to be talking about that and exactly what you're talking about, Dwayne. And last but not least, Attorney Hugo Mack. I don't even have I need an applause, but
No. You know, hey, look. I know y'all can't tell, but I'm actually blushing right now. Okay. Well, look, so glad to see everybody, you know, and you know what? People may have the aloe vera tree. We got the Allie Hughes tree. Okay. So we doing good. See, because I'm always excited. See, I be following her. See, I've seen the things she be doing. You know, I'm one of the supporters in there. So I'm very proud of my sister Trischè, you know, brother Brooks, you know, my co-worker, Reverend Tia. You know, Reverend Tia and I worked on some cases together, you know, knocking them down, swinging for the fences all the time, you know. So it's a good and beautiful thing to see. Good, beautiful thing to see. Well, my name is Hugo J. Mack, attorney at law, one of the only attorneys in the state of Michigan that's with you today that did not parachute down from heaven, but came up from hell through the blood of God and Jesus Christ to be here. So glad to be here. And I pride myself. I'm the only attorney I know in Southeastern Michigan whose office hours are 11 p.m. to 4 a.m., Monday through Fridays. And then on Saturday and Sunday, it's from 12 to 5. So, you know, I pride myself. You know, my clients are not the people who drive fancy cars and drive over bridges. My people are the kind of people who live in boxes under the bridges, you know, and that's nothing to be proud of. But it's something to know that society needs a lot of help. It's sick. It's very sick. We have some very sick elements of society that's like a cancer, you know. And so, but, you know, people like y'all that I'm talking to are the cure, you know. So we're gonna stay in this fight. Glad to be here at this point in time in my career, not worried about offending judges and prosecutors and police. You know, I wear their derision as a badge of honor. So it's a good thing, you know. It's a good thing. So proud to be here. So, you know, I imagine here we go. Now, don't y'all mute me. If you find yourself on Trouble Boulevard, push, pull, tow, grab that hoopity to Mack Street. Mack Street. Park in my virtual underground garage. The sign says free parking, not valet parking. I do not recommend you leaving your keys in your car in my neighborhood. Do not do that. It's free parking, not valet parking. And when you're there, call the Freedom Line, 734-239-3118. The Freedom Line, 734-239-3118. The Freedom Line, 734-239-3118. Because the truth of the matter is, when it's all said and done, hmaclaw.com is your hookup. hmaclaw.com is your hookup. hmaclaw.com is your hookup. And you know, J Love, for the benefit of some and to the chagrin of others, while we give people opportunity to record that information of vital import, you know, I would like y'all to just kind of bear with me for a minute while we get interested back to the technology again. And I'd appreciate it if y'all would kindly excuse me to the tune of my theme song, Return of the Mac. We do the Boogaloo. And never to be forgotten, in league with my co-worker, Reverend Tia, the Batman. And now to end it up, we introducing our new dance, the Janice with the German Smurf. So, J Love, I just want you to understand something, J Love. I deal perpetually with the haters, the haters. J Love, and I know people coming up to you, leave a note on your car, stopping you on the street, phone calling you anonymously. I know they want you to kick me off the show. I know that. But see, J Love, I'm going to tell you something. I got a message for all the haters out there, all the haters. In the words of my late cousin Bernie, I ain't scared of none of y'all. So you see, so that's what we're gonna do, and that's what we're gonna proceed. And J Love, I do want to say this when we starting off the new season. If you was to kick me off the show, the first thing I'm gonna do, J Love, you know what it is? I'm gonna go outside, J Love. Go outside in the rain. Now you say, Attorney Mac, why do that? I'll tell you why. Because the raindrops that hide my teardrops, and no one would ever know, J Love, that I'm crying. Deep down, I'm dying, see, J Love. So that's what I would do. And J Love, as I've often told you, I'm looking to tell you this in person, so you might just do it. I'd feel better. Rather than kick me off the show the way people want you to, I'd, like Morris Day, feel a little better if you just slapped my face, J Love. So I would really appreciate that sort of thing. So, J Love, and I know people ask you, J Love, is that man for real? Is that man for real? Damn right, I'm for real. And J Love, they may ask you, does that man endorse some crazy announcements? You're damn right I do. And I tell you why, J Love. Because these announcements are endorsed by Hugo J. Mack, Esquire, my official title, the one true king of Scotland, Russia, and Lower Harlem. With that, I love you. God bless you. Good to see you all again.
Yay. Yeah. Hey, Attorney Mac. Welcome.
Amen.
So you guys, Trischè caught my attention this week. And I'm going to hand her the mic in 2 seconds. But I think this is a conversation. This is a great conversation to start off with for our return. And also, it's Black History Month. So we need to get real out here about what's going on. So, Trischè, I remember this case because I remember, did you go live, Trischè, or somebody else went live? But I remember that this happened a few years back of the husband and wife, especially the wife. She was fighting the police. It was a situation where they were going to their daughter's home or something. But this whole journey that they were on and how the police tried to change the narrative like they were the ones that were being attacked and so forth, really drugged his family through a tiring, long journey. And so as I was thinking about, Trischè had brought up, we got work to do in her video. And I was like, you know what? That is what we need to talk about. We have plenty of work to do. So on that note, we're going to start off talking about that. But I want people to know that police brutality, misconduct, and corruption is not something of the past. It is live and in action, and it's going on right now. As I was going through studying for this tonight, I found so many cases that I was so overwhelmed with cases. It's so many. And Black people 3 times as much as anybody else with this police brutality. So we had to get real about it. We had to get real about traffic stops and all these things that put us in these spaces where this can happen. So on that note, I'm going to let you, Trischè, have this conversation and start it off. And then we're going to, I have some slides that we're going to really get into.
Okay. I'll try to be brief. I don't even really know where to start. And to be honest, this is a hard one. Like, everybody knows, how we're treated in the criminal injustice system, right? But when you sit through it and you watch it for yourself, it's a whole nother ball game. So I'm going to start with saying that everybody needs to court watch. Everybody needs to invade these courts and see what the hell they are doing. Because they are in there violating our people. They do not care. They are allowing police misconduct to go unchecked. And unless you have a bulldog lawyer, most times, as we see in MDLC, where our people at, it's real. And it started like this. A jury pool of 50 with only 3 Black people. So I got to stop there and say, get your ass and fill out that jury duty slip and get in somebody's jury pool. Because sometimes it's hard for us to get justice because we don't have a true jury of our peers.
Exactly.
We have to invade the jury space. And let me tell you something, when they call people in the jury pool, they don't even talk to everybody. So the 2 Black men didn't even get called. Black girl got caught. He said too much. Yeah, they lying. They got her out of there so quick. But I'm telling you, we've got to invade these spaces. And we really need to demand that they change the way that juries are even compiled.
Yes. And Trischè, I just want to add this to it. And we got to stop making excuses why we cannot go.
Yeah.
We got to stop making excuses. I sat in as they selected a jury for Gerard, and I'm telling you, it was Black people there, but everybody had an excuse about how they and to ease their way out of it. And then you wonder why there are so many wrongful convictions and so much injustice because we don't even want to participate.
Yeah.
But this year on Turning a Moment into a Movement, we're going to have direct actions that we're going to put out for people to start participating. Because if you're not doing anything, it's like nothing is happening. Because you're not even participating. So how can you even be mad when stuff happens?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Trischè. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay because what you're saying is true. But here's the thing. We also have to see, I'm going to tell you something. For me this year, I'm trying to whoop people legislatively.
Yeah.
Because unless we get them on the books, we ain't getting none. I don't care how many meetings you go in. I don't know how much you try to reason with people. You're not going to get anything unless you do it, unless we do it. So we've got to get legislatively, we got to get some legislative legislative moves to totally change the way that, because if I'm making $16 an hour, you think I'm gonna I got kids to feed. I can't afford $12 a day. And you don't pay for parking, and you ain't paying for my lunch.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. But again, who can afford $12 a day?
And when was that last changed?
That part. That part. I don't know if I know years ago it was $12. I don't know how much it is now, and I'm going to look that up because that whole system needs to be changed. However, thank goodness for the jury that they had. I think what happens is there were more women. And at that point, it wasn't about Black or white. And it really should never be about any of that anyways, but that's just the social, the racial construct that we're in. But it became about empathy for a woman. And man, that trial started in, y'all. And mind you, the defense had no witnesses because the prosecutor struck, the judge allowed this, every witness that the defense brought forward, I was one of them, off the list. So guess who the only witnesses was? The police. All those witnesses that were even out there watching as it happened, they did not pull in one person. Only the police. And they lied. And when I tell you lie, I've got to give y'all an example. And please, if I'm taking too much time, just shut me
Go
up.
ahead. You say that's why we're here.
But the officer gets on the stand. Now, this is the officer that beat her. And I hope we got that video so we can show that beating.
I did not.
The officer here, I sent, where you want me to send it to you at?
Email it.
Okay. The officer that beat her got up there on that stand. He said they came up screaming and yelling. So the attorney, and shout out to attorney Trovius Starr and attorney Bill Amadale, because I'm gonna tell you, they bruised the head of that prosecutor and the justice system in general in Washtenaw County with what they did yesterday. It was historic, it was groundbreaking, and they told them it would never happen. And God did that. But Trovius Starr got his computer, took it up to the stand, plugged it in. He said, so you say they would? No, first of all, let me back up. Trovius went up and said, sir, his first words was, sir, would you like to recant anything that you have said in the pretrial or anything pertaining to this case? And the officer said no. And Trovius just started in. And I mean, he lit into him. He said, okay, you say they were screaming and yelling when they came up. They came up yelling and screaming, right? Yeah, okay. Played it. He said, now, stop the tape. Did you hear any screaming or yelling? No. Okay, hold on. Let me cut it back on. Let me play a little more. Cut it back on. Cut it out. You hear any screaming or yelling? No. So now, but you said that they were screaming and yelling when they came up. Well, that's because in my perception, and see, this is here we go with this. This is how, yeah, you heard the perception. This is how they say, I was in fear for my life, so I had to shoot him. He said, in my perception, they were screaming and yelling. Now, what she was saying was, she had her phone up and she was saying, where's your search warrant? Don't let them in without a search warrant. Where is the supervisor? So asking very rational things. But when you're dealing with lawlessness, the way you are around here in racist police, you can't reason with that. There was no reasoning. They kept telling her, you keep on talking, we're going to come and arrest you. And that's what they did. Now, move forward to, again, another officer on the stand. It's the lady officer. She blatantly says, she commits perjury right on the stand. She says that they was in the front yard. The tape, you can see it as soon as you get it in this minute, Jay. The tape, you can see it clearly. She wasn't nowhere in that front yard. She was standing up to the side. And the only way that she started going back was when they started trying to go and pursue her. She was stepping back. But she was nowhere in that yard. So now she done said all of that. Fast forward to the last officer gets up on the stand. And then the defense asked him, well, was she in the yard? No. She wasn't in the yard? No. Okay, well, would you say that officer lied? The judge, I don't feel comfortable with that. I don't feel comfortable with the saying that somebody lied. They lying on the stand, and you're supposed to be governing over this proceeding, and you ain't saying nothing? No contempt, no perjury, no nothing? Witness after witness, they just getting, what do they call that? They impeached. Not without any regard. And the judge, bless his heart, it's like he was trying to help. He seen the prosecutor was losing. So after every time the defense went, the judge said, you want to redirect? The man getting up, yeah. He don't even know what he wanted to redirect on. How you gonna guide the process? I mean, it was so much, from my opinion.
Who's the judge?
Conlon. Patrick Conlon Jr.
I'm sorry. Who was the prosecutor?
Bedoing or Bedeon or something like that. Attorney General's office.
Okay.
And here's the thing: there were other folks within the Attorney General's office that didn't want no parts of the case. They changed out 2-3 times. You know what I'm saying? It'll be 4 years. That happened on May 26, 2020.
Right.
4 years. But you know why? And here's another thing: don't take no plea deal. I don't care how much time they threatening y'all with. Don't take no plea deal. Fight for your life. You know why? Because that plea deal mess is a scam. And I believe that's why they strung this out. They wanted to scare them and wanted them to take a plea deal. But guess what? The Grady L said, no, we will not. We are going to stand. And that's what they did. Y'all better stand. Don't take them plea deals. It's a way to make sure that you got time. But a jury of 12, you don't never know what they're going to do. I had them folks size up like, oh my God, it's an all-white jury. Well, it's always an all-white jury almost, right? But those jury members came back with a not guilty verdict on all counts. On all counts. And I'm telling you right now, I'm an activist. I think I'm about to change my title. There's no justice in there for us. Unless we, and I can't even say unless we do something legislatively, because there's legislation already on the books and they don't even follow that. So, I don't know how this is going to be fixed. But I know we got to do something.
Yeah. I agree. Send me the video, Trischè.
Okay.
Go ahead, Alexandra.
I was just thinking that how you were saying there's already something legislatively on the books. And it just had me thinking about how it makes me think of toxic waste. There's no Band-Aid or amount of cleanup you can do for toxic waste. Once the damage is done, it's done. And I feel like that's where we are.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dwayne. Unmute your mic.
And just one thing, Jay, too, and you're going to see this in this video. I'm sending it right now. But just you said this earlier, how the police turn themselves into the victim. They was up there talking about Mrs. Grady L was fighting me. I could not believe it. I'm saying they act like they just walked up and she just was like, bow. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me that you just did not grab this lady, twirl her around in the air, had her by her throat, then talk about she bit you? Look, once you illegally detain me, everything that happens on the flip side of that is null and void. And that is why this case is going to be historic, because it has set something in tone in law. And in the brilliant way that Trovius asked at the last minute if he could add something to the jury instructions. And he battled back and forth with the prosecutor. He asked the judge to add that if in fact the jury believes that the arrest was unlawful, then they can vote not guilty. And so every time the judge read for every count, he had to go through and read that over and over again, like 4 or 5 times, that if you believe it's unlawful, and those people took that. And because no clear perimeter was set, you'll see there was no perimeter set. People was everywhere. They didn't do anything to try to get people out of the way. The jury saw past that and came back with a not guilty.
Wow. Dwayne, did you want to add something before I show the video?
No, as they should have. Like Alexandria was saying, it's toxic. The system is toxic, and it can't be fixed. You know, Trish is right. It can't be fixed. I've said in a different way that it needs a complete overhaul. You know, you can't fix it. It's corrupt. It's rotted from the roots on up, and the way that they do people of color in this country, black people. You know who I'm talking about. It's atrocious. It's it's horrific the way they do us. And Black Lives Matter too. I always thought that they should add that TOO on there, because then they came back with all Blue Lives Matter and all this other crap. They know what we meant. They know what was meant by Black Lives Matter. But never will our lives matter until this whole system is overhauled.
Yeah. It was built, the foundation of it was built on keeping Black people. Come on, we're gonna keep it 100. The foundation on it was built on keeping Black people enslaved for free labor.
No doubt.
And whatever they needed to do, lock you up, put you on that plantation or whatever, that's what it was about. And even with the Civil War and all that other stuff, it was still racism. They was just proving a point on the other end, but it was still on the same foundation. The Civil War didn't change it. Civil rights didn't change it. It's still corrupt. And so now we've been programmed to believe that we can reform something that was already built on a corrupt foundation. And I'm here to tell you that's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
So
Slavery is against the law unless you are convicted of a crime.
Right.
And
so you're still a slave.
You're still a slave. The vast majority of the prison population is Black. And our population as a people in this country hasn't risen at all in my lifetime. We've been always around 12-13%. But with 50 and 60 and 70% of the prison population. How does that add up?
You're right, Dwayne. And Dwayne, I'm so glad that you're here, because you give the voice to what we're talking about. You lived it, you experienced it, and you are the person, you like the doctor in the room. You know firsthand exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah,
every day.
It's crazy to have been convicted of a crime that you didn't commit. I'm sitting there in that courtroom knowing damn well that I had nothing to do with all of this stuff they saying in the courtroom. Nothing to do with it. Then to be taken to the point where they was trying to put me on death row. And then the jury coming back saying, no, we don't want him to be on death row, but we want him to do 25 years to life. And going into those prisons, and damn near everybody you looking at is Black. Everywhere you looked around. And now it was a flip, because now the majority is Black, and you would think that you having the numbers would give you more power or a better standing, but it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
The however many percent that was Caucasian in there were still looked after as if they were better than the Black prisoners.
That's crazy.
Still treated better than the Black prisoners.
Mm-hmm.
Protected as much as they could, because it was savage when I first went into prison. Protected as much as they could. more so than the black prisoners. So, you know, you're seeing this from the inside out now. I saw it from the inside out, literally. I'm looking at it and I'm saying, okay, most of the people in here are black. Why are we not the majority in position wise, or in station wise? We are still being treated as if we're the minority in an environment where we're the majority.
Yeah.
Right. Go ahead, Reverend Tia.
Oh my goodness, Trischè, I was looking at you. I've been looking at you on social media since the verdict, and was so excited about that verdict. I mean, it's terrible that we get that excited about what's supposed to be right,
Right.
and that we don't get disturbed when it's just all the way wrong. But see, I think what I want to impress upon the people today is that they did that and went to court and went to the extremes because they were so used to winning, even though they're wrong.
Even though they're wrong.
They're just they are used to that pattern of thought. And when Trischè said, they said, the officer said, and we could have called him so many different names at that point. You're talking about a woman who scared you, and you're a police officer.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm not feeling for you right now. And so he was used to using that, because what did they say? Trischè said, according to my perception. And that is why we have not risen above their perception. And that's why the system can't be fixed, because we're dealing with people's perceptions that have been warped for over 400 years.
Mm-hmm.
More than that, really.
Yeah, more than that.
More than that. To go from place to place because you fell as a Roman Empire and then got scattered. And I won't go into the details of that, but then all of a sudden you want power around the world again. And so you go from place to place and capture people. I'm sorry. Because they're different. Because they're different. Sorry, not sorry. So, and again, we got to start, with us. My prayer is that even after this, that they sue. Can they sue the police department? Sad to say, that's going to affect the city. And again, we're back to that, the idea for the officers that they do need some liability insurance for themselves for when they do lie.
Right. Here we go back to qualified immunity.
That's on the table right now. I think we need to hit that like never before.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame that the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act never passed in the qualified immunity. And that's the least we could have done after what happened to George Floyd and so many others, and what continues to happen. That's the least, is to fix it some by having, that's giving us a way to defend ourselves.
Right.
We can respond. We can fight back. That's a way to fight back legally. And we couldn't even get that.
Yeah, they didn't want us to have that.
Yeah. That's why
all legislators are on watch. This election.
That's why this case is so monumental, because this case made it okay to fight back.
Right.
This case made it okay. I don't even think the jury even knows what they did.
Mm-hmm. Historic.
I don't even know if they know how historic this is. That another police brutality case can say Grady Hill versus the state of Michigan says that it is okay to, and I'm just I'm overcome with joy for them, but it's That's why I said we've got work to do, because I think a lot of times we stay in the celebration too long.
Mm-hmm.
We stay. I just talked to somebody about this today. We just yearning for that clap, clap, clap. And I get it, because the work is so hard. So when you do that, it is encouraging. But I'm tired of watching these politicians be like, "Oh, we did such a good job." No, stop it. Put your hand back on the plow and get moving. People be like, "You all over the place." No, we just work and we in our area. We get to the end of the year for an annual report, and we say, "Oh my gosh, we was moving this year." You know why? Because we didn't just sit around and be like, "Oh, we did a good job." How you gonna celebrate a great job when it's still more work to do?
Yeah.
How can you celebrate a great job when people are still suffering? We don't have time to celebrate. Well, we're gonna celebrate tomorrow now. Yes,
I got that flyer. I got the flyer.
But we have to take that moment, and the celebration is also about a focus. I tell people all the time, I wasn't even a protester. We used the momentum of the march to give the marching orders.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the march is for, is to give the marching orders. It ain't just to be out there talking about, because that don't mean a damn thing to these court systems. Our symbolism don't mean nothing to them. Washtenaw County, the crew report, they got a whole report out here that talks about everything that I saw. How unjust these judges have been and still are to this day. But all they did was made the report. Well, what you gonna do after that? And they had this big old to do. Ooh, clap, 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 the crew report. Okay. Well, why don't you get a grant to hire court watchers? So that you can start putting these judges on notice that they're going to be on notice with the Judicial Tenure Committee.
Mm-hmm.
Stop with the symbolism and get your ass busy, because we dying in these courts. So while I'm grateful for a not guilty for this family, I understand that I'm using the joy of that for this family as momentum to keep on keeping on. I'm not singing "We Shall Overcome." What I'm saying is that we coming. That's it. Yeah, we shall overcome, because we coming. That's where I'm at.
And for that family, from my perspective, it's not celebratory, not at all, because the actual incidents still happened. They still abused that woman, and they abused her and assaulted her because she was Black.
And her husband, yes.
And her husband, and that doesn't go away.
No.
So, it's sickening for people to have to feel like, we won something, or it's something to celebrate when we've been wronged.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell about that? What about being wronged?
Right.
That don't go away.
Right.
In 1994, 95, whenever the O.J. Simpson thing was going on, everybody was waiting on the verdict. And I had a type of out of body experience, because I kind of like drifted back and I watched the different reactions. The white prisoners was mad, cursing, "What the fuck? What the," and the Black prisoners were screaming and some crying in celebration. But it was just what people don't understand. I understood. I felt it. So I pinpointed the emotion. I pinpointed the feeling. It was a feeling of relief. Not about OJ. It was about a people that finally, no matter what actually happened, we don't know, because they tainted the evidence, of course. But it was just a Black man, even though he's OJ, he said he ain't Black, he OJ. But in our eyes, it was a Black man that finally won in that system. you know, and you know, you mentioned George Floyd. You know, I had the unique perspective of being in a prison where these white or Caucasian prison guards would talk around us as if we were farm animals, like we couldn't understand English. And I remember one night in particular where I was working third shift, and the prison guards were talking amongst each other, and they were saying that Officer Chauvin didn't kill George Floyd. So immediately my antennas went up. So now I'm listening. And their take on it was that he didn't kill George Floyd because, in their opinion, he was a drug addict and he had a prior record. These are all the things they said out loud. He had a prior record. He was a criminal. And that he would have died later on that day anyway. This is what, I mean, literally, I mean, I can't script this. And in their arrogance, these country bumpkins, because I was in a prison in Ohio, who wouldn't have a job except for the fact that they place all the prisons strategically in white rural areas where they know these dirt farmers need jobs. So they automatically give them these prison jobs and make them middle class because they look out for their own. But yeah, they had the nerve, the audacity to feel like George Floyd was some type of animal. And that because the officer was white, because if it was the same scenario flipped and it was a black officer with his knee on a white man's neck for 8 minutes or 9 minutes, white people would have been up in arms. Same scenario. Same set of circumstances, but in their mind, George Floyd's life didn't matter. And to them, George Floyd he's the perfect nigga. Even though there was some semblance of justice that Chauvin went to prison, but in their minds, he's the perfect nigga. Yeah, let them celebrate George Floyd because in their eyes, he's black, first of all. He was a criminal in their eyes. He was a drug addict in their eyes. And his life didn't matter. And
yeah, and you said the key thing, Dwayne, when they see us, how they see us. So
and that
it's
when people are not understanding how they see us is not changing. It's getting worse.
Right.
More and more of them are coming out the closet.
Right.
They've been emboldened, especially since 2016. They've been emboldened to come out the closet and let their racist roots, out, because they've been emboldened by, of course, the Trump movement, the MAGA movement, or whatever it's called. Make America great again. When has America been great? We missed that, didn't we?
We missed it. I'm gonna show this video, you guys. Just one second.
Trigger warning.
Don't fucking touch her. Don't touch her.
Oh shit.
Oh my God.
Bitch ass motherfucker.
He was straight hitting her Oh my God! What the fuck was he hitting her like?
Yeah, you guys. Just 1 second. Whew, I remember that day that I saw that video. I think I saw it live. I think it was somebody, it was live. And it was terrible then, and it's still terrible now. That police officer was beating, and she's a small woman. You got she's a small frame lady. He could have killed her.
That's why when he said that they was fighting, she was fighting me.
After you start swinging, she was protected and fighting for her life because he was hammering her. Go ahead, Attorney Matt.
You know, I was at the county jail. I think, Trischè, you were there too, when the sheriff held a press conference about that. And I remember telling a man by the name of Nate Frazier, from what I saw at that press conference and what the administration was saying, I said, there will be no disciplinary action taken against these officers. And I like Nate. And he was with another guy, a lawyer, as a matter of fact. I'm not going to mention his name, but anyway, they were out there sitting together, you know. They said, no, I don't think so. Because the tape speaks for itself. And I remember, see, Trischè, she don't talk that much at times. But see, I'm gonna put it out there. I remember she confronted the administration about that. Yeah, I saw. Now, I did not know her well at that time. You know what I'm saying? She confronted them about that. You know? And the thing of it is that even amongst our own people, the truth of the matter is we are so prone towards hating ourselves. So prone towards hating ourselves, you see. I was dealing with some black folk who saw that and said, well, she shouldn't have been messing with him, you know, shouldn't have been doing it. And, you know, and the thing that gets me is that as a litigator, every day when I go into court, I see how unbalanced it is. I do, you know, but the spirit of God in me just will not let me stop, you know, you know, and it's so amazing how it's so crystal clear. I don't know how a person doesn't see it. Well, I guess I do because you don't want to see it. And I'm telling you, you going in there with a dark skin, and I don't care if it's a black judge on. See, and that's another thing. Let me just spit the truth here, okay, folks. Let's not get all impressed because of who's on the bench, please. Okay, let's not do that. Okay, you know, hold a person to value and integrity. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, the cases that I've seen and dealt with, everybody wants to be part of the good old boys. And I got to say, some women are getting ratchet too. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Some of these women that are electing these spots, they as bad or worse than the men. Yes, they are. I don't care. You don't like it. I'm gonna tell the truth. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. So, you know, we need to be real careful when we talk about diversity, inclusion, and and equity. The principles of those things are wonderful. Okay, wonderful. But you know what? I'm not interested in getting an oppressor that just changed his skin color. See, I'm not interested in that. Now, there are people that are running for sheriff in Washington County, and I went to, there's never really no debate. I mean, you know what? When I was running for prosecutor, I wanted to get involved in a debate. I mean, a show enough face-to-face, in-your-face debate. But nobody really wants to do that. It's like these information sessions and some softball questions, and we got to be politically correct. You know what I'm talking about. I want a face-to-face debate. But anyway, in this particular, it was a black fraternity that I put on this particular session, right? And so they had major candidates. I think 3 of them were there. And the thing of it is that only one person said, I'm not interested in being the captain of the football team. See, because I may have to kick some of the people off the team. Okay. See, I'm going to kick some of the people off the team. So I can't be the captain of the football team. I can't be your friend, your confidant, your bud. Okay. Because that means if I'm doing that, then I might let you slide. I might let you slide. Well, what did you hit him with the nightstick? Well, I just tapped him up a little bit. Just okay. Well, just put in there that you just restrained him. Okay. See. So anyway. So y'all, I love you, and I'm glad to be back. But you know what? Some of the worst enemies we have is us. It really is. It really is, and so we gotta fight that, because the truth of the matter is, and maybe I'm getting long-winded. I'm sorry. I'm gonna draw it to a close right now. The truth of the matter is, when I'm picking a jury, I'm looking and hoping for a black or brown face. I'm looking, hoping, because sometimes that's all I got to hold on to. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because voir dire, these judges will cut you off on voir dire, and you can't get too personal with that now. We're personal my ass. Say that when you ain't at this defense table, looking at the penitentiary. Tell me about person there. So anyway, but y'all just keep on swinging for the fences. I know what it's like to pay a debt you don't know. I know. Dwayne was up in there, so was I. A lot of things he said, and I say these are universal things. You know what I'm saying? The inhumanity is universal.
Right.
When I hear that brother talk, I'm thinking, I never really been to New York or where the brother was at. I don't know if he's been to Michigan, but I'm sure he hears some things I say. He say, dang, I could have been in that cell block too, because I know the experience. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna keep on swinging for the fences, y'all. And
Right.
Anyway, I'm through. I'm sorry.
Right. Okay, Attorney Matt.
He made a good point, though. A lot of times we give black people a pass because they black, because their skin is black. And we got to stop giving these passes, because it's too many black folk that are sellouts. It's too many black folks that love white people more than they love themselves. It's too many black people that deep down they want to be white. They want and it's too many black people that want to please the master. It's too many of them.
I mean, look at the case with Tyree Nichols. All those officers was black.
Yeah.
And they literally beat him to death.
Yeah.
They were all black officers.
Because they're gonna show master that they good niggas.
Right. And
look
this
what we'll
is
do
what
to this nigga for you, master.
That's right.
They terrorize that community.
Yeah.
That's right.
Even I was looking at, go ahead, Attorney Matt.
And excuse me, I'm sorry, I got to say this. And wouldn't dare step a foot in one of them white suburbs. Where was that, Nashville? Was that Nashville that happened? Was that Nashville? Wouldn't dare go to, what is that, a Dolly Land, a Dolly Parton Land, or whatever that is. Wouldn't dare step a foot inside that woman's gate and bust a grape in a wine factory. Wouldn't dare do it. See what I'm saying? See, so what the brother is saying is so true. You know what I'm saying? And frankly, I encountered that in the penitentiary, with these weak-minded inmates, black. See, most of the problem I had in the penitentiary wasn't with the white boys. It really wasn't. And I'm not trying to be racist, but it's just true. It really wasn't. It was with them blacks that felt they had license from them white guards to do whatever they wanted to do as long as it was black. See what I'm saying? As long as it's black. And anybody who try to tell you, and I'm sorry, I just got to tell the truth. Anybody who got to tell you that there's no such thing as white privilege, yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, even in the penitentiary. Even in the penitentiary. Okay? Yep. Because the reality of it is, no matter what it is you come in there for, and I've seen some people that are, Caucasian are just absolute monsters. But no matter what they did, at least it wasn't black.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So.
Right.
Facts.
So as we talk about this, here's another Lexington, is that Kentucky, where this whole community was being harassed. The DOJ had to come in and do an investigation. Like, these are things that's happening right here. We talked about Elijah McClain. We talked about him on this. He only got 14 months and they killed. Well, first of all, he was the only one charged out of all the officers that was involved. And then he only gets 14 months. Like, we having these conversations, but this is real life stuff that's going on every single day in our communities.
Every day.
Ooh.
And while we're sitting at home, thinking that this stuff is not real, we just preach it to Detroit. We preach it to the choir. No. No, we're not just talking. We're not on here on Fridays just to be. We're talking about stuff that's happening, and then we got work to do.
That's right.
We have to get involved. We can't just keep on sitting on our hands thinking it's going to go away. Or we're going to pray it away. Or we're going to sing it away. Or we're going to, I don't know, away.
We're going to be away. We're going to be back on the boats, gone. We one vote away from being banished from the country where we established it. If we don't wake up. Period and point blank. There's no way. We got to cut all the excuses. You know what I'm saying? Because they are being trained to do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta understand this. The jury asked 6 questions from the jury at one time, because they got to ask questions and give questions after each witness went. And 6 of them asked about the de-escalation policy. The de-escalation policy, the way the officers explained it, was a take it or leave it. Oh, we don't have to follow that. If we think that it's escalating, then we can just move right to arrest. Now, mind you, Sheriff Clayton goes all across the country talking about de-escalation. They don't even have a de-escalation policy.
Wow.
This is what their own officer said. I'm doing some research myself this week, so that's allegedly. But per their own officer, they don't have a de-escalation policy. They have a use of force policy with a de-escalation clause. And the clause says this, that if you find that an individual is not complying with you, then if they're not being violent and it's not in the middle of a crime or something like that, it said, I'm paraphrasing. It says that if they're not being violent or not in the middle of a crime, then you can reason with them and find out why they're not complying. Had they done that, we wouldn't be right here right now.
Mm-hmm.
They would have said, ma'am, what is going on? She would have said, look, my grandkids are in that house. Now, I got to say one more thing on this. They said that the Grady L's were in their perimeter, right? Do you know that somebody else knocked on the door and went in the house? Why they didn't try to arrest them? They let them right in. So it was clear that they were upset that they knew their rights.
Mm-hmm.
Know your rights. So they can start getting used to hearing it. See, because when they see one of us in there, they say, look at that uppity end. Think they know what they're saying. I'll show them. And if you see that video, they walked across that street like they were some cowboys playing cops and robbers and did what they did. We got to be clear about where we're at here. And you're right, because I was going to show you this video. I was going to send this video to you, and I'm still trying to find it. When it came to the marches, yeah, we were scattered in there. We got to learn how to stand as a people. We got to learn how to stand. And I get why we're not standing, because we were trained by individuals that was raised post, slavery, post-slavery, Jim Crow, post-Jim Crow. You stood, you could be dead. But guess what? We already dying still. So it makes a difference if you can be dead. Let me tell you something. I tell people all the time, I'm not going down without a fight. And that's the stance that we need to take. We need all hands on deck, not to reform something that was created to do what it's doing. I understand what the person was saying. Somebody commented on the post and said, finally, the justice system is working like it's supposed to. Nah, it's already working like it's supposed to.
Yeah, it is.
But we got to make it work the way that we see that it's supposed to work.
Right.
I don't know how we do that without tearing it down and rebuilding.
That's right.
Dismantle, and disrupt. My two favorite words when it comes to that. Dismantle and disrupt, because there's no way that you can keep it.
Right.
They're teaching people. And even when you look at, like, we're saying people that look like us, right? They're embedded into this system, right? So they take on that mind frame, they take on the narrative, and they become it, right? So, and they start doing that work. And, until it happens to them when they're in plain clothes, then they remember, hey, I'm really black. I ain't got on blue. So, hey, there's work for us to do. 2024, we got to be about this work. We got to stand on business. We cannot keep on standing on crap. We're going to have to stand up for something that we really believe in. We're going to have to get involved. We're going to have to start making phone calls. We're going to have to start sending emails. We have to be a participant in our freedom. Freedom, you ain't free. You're freest. Until you start participating, you're not gonna get what wait, we don't want it to happen to you, right? These things that I'm flashing on the screen, we don't want it to happen to you or your loved one. And so that's the reason why we participate. And that's the reason why we have these conversations. I see you back, Revertia.
Yeah, yes, finally in my chair. Finally in my chair. This was so needed. And I hear you, Jay and Trischè, Dwayne, and Hugo Mack. I tell you, I see, we got to see this through till the end. And this is a case where, people say, okay, we won, we're done. We're not done. We're not done. And we're not done until they pay. And Trischè already said, these officers got promoted since the incident. Is that true, Trischè?
Yeah, that one just got promoted, but yeah, I think 2 or 3 of them got promoted.
They got a promotion. I can't work and do horrible and get a promotion. They got a promotion. So this is, you know, when I was playing basketball, you know, the big thing was get back on D. You can't just celebrate. My father would get so upset if you celebrated after your shot. After you scored, then you're gonna start dancing. No. You got to get back on defense. This is the time for us to get back on D. And because we're not finished with this case, and this is like so many others, because a lot of times things will happen and we think we won, we got the victory. We may have won this hurdle. We got over this hurdle, but it's not done. It's not done. And it's not done until laws have been changed, until transformation has happened within the whole system. But this particular case, if we do one case at a time, this is not done until they pay, because they're not going to feel anything until there's a cost that hurts. It has to hurt them. It has to hurt the pockets. And make them say, okay, this can't happen again because we lost so much money. That's all they're looking at. When they look at people who go to prison, who get incarcerated, it's just dollars and cents to a lot of people. And we have to understand that. And that's why we're here this evening. It's because it's time to get back on defense.
Mm-hmm.
We got this one, but we're not done. We're not done.
That's right.
And she spoke of the promotions. You know, this happens all the time in police departments around this country. You know, all the officers that beat Rodney King got promoted. I don't know if people knew that, but all of them, lieutenants, captains, they all got promoted. The officers that worked on the Central Park 5 case got promoted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they had an officer in Cleveland, Ohio, who had shot 21 black men, 19 or 21 black men. He was decorated and celebrated, and they cleared him on all of the shootings, of course. You know, this stuff is, you know, it's rampant. They promote their own that abuse black people. That's something to promote in their eyes.
Right.
Oh, you did the right thing.
This is the only profession that you can be corrupt and you can do all kinds of stuff and still move up.
And still move up.
You could become the chief.
That's what gangs do, though, y'all. We know they're a gang. That's what gangs do. You have to go through initiation. You know, some gangs you gotta cap somebody, and then you go up. The more bodies you get, the more you go up. So this is what we seeing right now. They're not police, they're criminals.
Same thing. Yep.
Them people I seen in there, including, well, let me be quiet.
No, you're right. They're criminals.
They're criminals. That was criminal behavior in that courtroom.
They designed
anytime you sit and lie on a case.
Yeah.
If I'm in court and I lie, I committed a crime. Anytime that you can sit back and lie on a case and there's nothing done, you can continue to lie every time. I'm telling you, when I was down at Frank Murphy's down there, the lawyer said, hey, these judges know the officers that lie. I was totally appalled listening to this conversation because they know and nobody is doing nothing about it. They know that they lie.
Right. It's a system built on criminality.
They lie. The prosecutors know that they're lying.
No doubt.
They lie. Let's keep it 100. They tell a lot of, I'm not going to say all of them, but enough of them do it that you see the numbers of people that we're looking being exonerated. It's not always, they made a mistake. It's rarely a mistake.
They're trained to lie.
It's intentional, yes. So we as people have to get that in our heads. You know, the system is not balanced. Anytime a man can walk around with 91 felony counts, and he can go from state to state and run for president with all these felony counts in court right now. But you mean to tell me that he can do it, but you can't ask a question without getting beat down in the middle of the street or getting hunted down like an animal? Because some of these videos that I have watched is literally looking like they hunting people down like animals. This one in particular, I didn't even want to put. It was so traumatizing to me watching it. I didn't want to traumatize nobody else. But this video right here of this young lady being beat by all those police officers, he literally, and they caught it on his camera, was yelling, you know, stop resisting. And she wasn't even moving because there was so many police officers that was laying on top of her. And I think he got like, you know, 40 hours of a week off of work, literally, for beating her like that. So, you know, as we go through this year, as we listen to these stories, because they come on, so like the Grady L story was big news when it happened, but I haven't seen it on not one news station talking about what happened in court and how they run their case. Not one. I've been waiting to see. I was waiting so I wouldn't have to say that I didn't see it. Now, I haven't seen one news story. Has anything going on out there, Trischè? Because nothing here.
Oh, the family really only wants to talk to one newscaster. Shout out to my girl Kim Craig. But the family, you know, is really, they just want to just begin the road to healing, to be honest. And I left it up to them because I could care less about the cameras. Where the cameras been this whole time when they've been, you know, suffering and still going through this foolishness. So my thing is, let them move on how they want to move on. But this story will be told. What they did, they will have to stand and account for it. And it just is bottom line. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to have witnessed two cases. Vernell Vast's son, Carl Bruner, God rest his soul, and this case. And there were two common themes in both cases: police misconduct, police being caught on the stand lying, and a judge that won't do anything about it. So shout out to Judge Bazzi in Wayne County, and shout out to Judge Patrick Conlon Jr. in Washtenaw County, who allowed liars to take the stand and lie over and over again, and you did not hold them in contempt of court because the perjury that they committed. We salute you both, and the only thing that we salute you with is to let you know this. We'll holler at you on election day.
Yeah. And what people had to realize, Jay, is that it's a system built on criminality. They make it seem that they are the civilized ones when really they are savages.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
On that note, we're going to go home. But we're going to go home, but we just here to give you guys something to think about. Something to ponder these conversations. Go back and talk to, you know, your people, your loved ones. Have these conversations when you get together. You know, this stuff is real. It's happening on a daily basis, and it's up to us to make the change happen. We're going to be here next week. We're going to have Marvina Haynes here next week, who her brother came home after 20-something, almost 20 years. Marvin was wrongfully convicted. She's going to be here, and then we're going to have some more families from Minnesota that's coming. So stay tuned to us. I'm happy we're back. We're going to be we're going to be telling the truth, because the truth shall set us free.
Set us free. See y'all tomorrow if y'all available to come on out. We love to have y'all there, Jay and Reverend Gia and Lord Justice.
And I just add to that, while Justice is all up on the desk, I add to that by saying the truth hurts the wicked.
Yes. And the truth is uncomfortable, but it needs to be said.
Yes, yes. Because the truth will dissipate any illusion that you may be looking at. And the truth always sets us free. It is freeing us. So we got to continue to tell the truth and take the veils off so people can see the truth, and then do the personal work. Talk about self-care, but do the personal work on yourself so that you can know the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Justice got up, because Justice knows it's time for justice. He had to get up.
I wish he would know it's time to get up off of me with his 75 pounds. Move, son, move.
Just beautiful.
Yes.
He just been on for 2 hours, and so he ready to play.
Okay, it's playtime. What y'all doing? Well, I'll see you guys next Friday on Turning a Moment into a Movement. Love you guys.
Love you.
Love you.